What's up, y'all? Today, today is December 11th. This should mark the, I want to say 16th month. Let me make sure though, real quick, y'all. Yeah, 16th, the 16th month of my Natty Dreadlock Journey. I don't know what entry this is. Here lately, I've been doing like a Sunday shower and shampoo shakedown, just a Sunday shakedown. I just got out of the shower. Today is the 11th. I started my journey on August 11th, 2021. Started once again with a low fade, a low taper, to what you see now. You know, I didn't have the opportunity like a lot of people to start off with an afro or some hair on the head. I started literally from a fade. And, you know, just been documenting and journaling, vlogging, whatever you want to call it. That's sort of old school term probably right now, right? But anyhow, been doing it since August 11, 2015. This is 16 months in. The past 3 weeks, I've been... Past 3 weeks, I've been doing some little shakeouts as soon as I got out the shower, which is like right now. I just literally stepped out the shower about 15 minutes ago. Haven't shook my hair out on purpose. But I want to do this today. And later on, I'm going to come back, show you what my hair looks like when it's dry. You know, those types of things. So, yeah, man. Let's get it started, man. And if you guys haven't been paying attention, my hair changes almost every time. Almost every time I shower, man. I mean, almost every time that I have my shampoo day, I should say. So, yeah, I started doing these little shakeouts, things like that, like I said, 3 weeks ago. So, yeah, don't mind me now. Whew. And as you can see, when you shake out, the hair starts to get a little bit different. Mine stands up a little bit on the sides, things like that. So, yeah. So yeah. So anyhow, I'm gonna get back with you guys here in a second. Once my hair dries out, let you guys see that I have more shaking to do, but just wanted to demonstrate this real quick. All right. What up, y'all? All right. Today is December 11th, 2023. My 16 months of a Natty Dread journey. Just doing my thing, man. Things are going. Today is wash day. As you can see earlier from the video that I posted earlier was my Sunday shakeout. I started doing a Sunday shakeout these past 3 weeks. And I was originally going to call it the Sunday shower and shampoo shakeout, but that's too many S's. It's a tongue twister. Plus, it's long. So, Sunday shakeout, you know. And, you know, that's what I'm probably going to continue to do depending on how much people are involved in following or, you know, if people show me that they're interested in that, then I'll continue to do the Sunday shakeout. Every Sunday wash day, because Sundays are my wash day. In the meantime, there were some things that I did plan on doing, but I forgot to do it. I made a new batch of rosemary water, and I wanted to actually film it, but just got carried away. Didn't even think about it, to be honest with you. Got carried away and thought about it in hindsight. So my next batch that I make, I'll show you guys how to do some rosemary water. I always like to rinse out my hair with rosemary water. I'm also going to focus on a tutorial on cold brew on how to do that. because I rinse my hair out with that before the rosemary water, and how I make my aloe vera spray mist that I use whenever my hair's itchy, dry, or anything like that. I like to use that. I'm in Colorado, if you don't know, and it's the winter time. So I want to keep my hair moist, trap in the moisture and so forth like that, because with cold water, your hair could get brittle and dry. Scalp could get real dry just due to the cold, extreme cold. So that being said, I'm going to give you guys a tutorial on what I do, how many drops, things like that. Now, the purpose of me doing these journals initially started off because I couldn't really find anyone who was journaling their experience around starting dreadlocks, freeform dreadlocks, real like freeform, not like manipulated freeform dreadlocks. What I mean by manipulated, like if you're separating Congos, to me, it's still freeforming. But if you start off like with a, what is it, interlocking, to me, the sponge, things like that, to me, that to me, those are more semi-freeform, you know what I mean? Because you started with something to start you off, instead of letting your hair choose in its own pattern, you know what I mean? And then after your hair chooses its own pattern, if you decide to separate locks, things like that, I don't really worry about the maintenance part, but to each his own, you know? But anyhow, that being said, I, focused on my experience around, I focus on my experience around starting with curly hair. As you know, I started from low fade, a taper, to what you see now. But the initial, the first video that I posted on this journey was in October, so it's really like 2 months in to my journey. But that's when I got the idea, because of my experience not being able to find people who have curly hair. Because my hair is like a 4A. Some people say 3C, but I really think it's 4A. If you have like a 4C, something like that, your hair might lock super fast versus a 4A. And I wasn't really finding out when to expect my hair to lock. Because that was my real question, like, how long is this going to take? You know what I mean? I know some of us worried about can I get dreads like him, her, whoever? I wasn't really focused on that because I knew they're freeforms, and my older brother, he's been growing them since I was 13. So what's that, 34 years? And, I've seen his journey and stuff. But, he started when I was 13 years old. I don't really remember too much, but he always told me when I first started this journey, just don't comb your hair. That was his only suggestion. Just don't comb your hair. Do nothing with it. Shower, walk out the house. That's it. And come to find out that is pretty much it. But there are some things along the way that I learned, like cold brew rinses, rosemary water, washing with cold water, rinsing with cold water, going into circular motion and keeping that circular motion. Don't go against the grain. Don't change your motion of whether you go clockwise or counterclockwise. Whatever you start with, you want to keep doing throughout your whole time. You know what I mean? Those types of things. But my real thing was, once again, how long was it going to take my curly hair to lock? I couldn't really find those answers. I found people like Troy Blyden, Johnny the Dread, Not Locks, aka Not Nation, a few people, and this one light-skinned dude with these glasses who talks about freeforming, but he didn't freeform his hair, I don't believe. But I've seen other people with similar hair types, and I started to follow them. Especially, I wasn't following people who wasn't freeforming. You know what I mean? But I did do my investigation before I got started. Like, do I want to interlock? Do I want to do the crochet method? All those things. But at the end of the day, like I said, what was exemplified for me was my brother, and he freeformed. This was in the 80s. You know what I mean? There was none of this interlocking or crocheting. So for me, that felt like a true traditional locks, even though traditional locks are more like sister locks, or interlocking is what it's called now. But Natty Dreads, freeforming, what was traditional for me growing up. I didn't know anything else. So yeah. But there was those questions: how long it was going to take to lock, what I needed to do. And I went on along with my journey, and I had to figure out some things and educate myself. So I watched a lot of people. So Knottlocks, Trey Blythe, and all these people were great in me educate myself. Some of the females, I can't remember their names as well. But what I noticed was nobody was consistent on their own journey all the way through, like a monthly update, things like that, So that's why I started my journey and my journal. Not why I started my journey, but my journal. And part of that was because maybe I could share with the community on mine. When I started at 2 months, my first video, I had little curls by that time. It was no longer looking like a fade. But if you go back and you watch my journey, you could see the transition all the way through. And I didn't get my first lock until about 10 months. And that first lock is this one right here. This was my first lock. So, yeah, that was my first lock. And I got that when I was on vacation in Hawaii, swimming in the ocean. And what I thought was starting to lock, didn't lock. When I hopped in that ocean, everything fell apart except for that one. But it was all right. That was something I had to learn. I didn't give up or quit or anything like that. I kept at it. And guess what? Your hair comes right back. Even the same pattern came back. That's what my hair wanted to do. This is the way I wanted to come in. So that was sort of amazing for me to see that and go through that experience. But yeah, it took me 10 months. Someone with the 4C hair, the hair might initially lock within a couple months. You know what I mean? Almost instantly, So, but that's not my experience, So, yeah, Yeah, so I just wanted to do this for people who are probably looking for that journey as well. Like, hey, man, I don't know who has a 4A type of hair or even looser type of hair. And speaking of looser type of hair, I've seen people with one hair, you know what I mean? Two hair, hair locked before mine. So, my path is my path and theirs is theirs. So all expectations are out of the door. You sort of got to just sort of accept yourself wherever you're at when you're there. I think wherever I'm at, I'm perfectly where I need to be, But I'm not going to lie. That's a struggle to accept I'm where I need to be. Sometimes on a monthly basis, a weekly basis. It could be out today. It could be tomorrow. It ain't today, but it could be tomorrow, And I just got to remind myself and accept the fact that this is my process. So anyhow, this is 16 months. I didn't get you guys the cold brew, the rosemary, or the aloe vera mist that I have. But I'm going to get you guys get some tutorial type things going, I believe, sooner or later, and post those. Not really ready for the in the shower, how to apply a thing, but maybe by the time I run out of those types of supplies and ready to replenish them, and I start video recording that, maybe I'll be ready about that time and have even the equipment to do so, because I don't want to expose myself, you know what I'm saying? So anyhow, want to make sure I have the right equipment, I got the equipment, but not that equipment. So anyhow, yeah, that it is. So since I'm at 16 months, let me give you a little welcome to my crib, and I'm going to give you a journey around what I got going on in the kitchen. You know what I mean? So let's see. Hopefully you guys are getting this. I don't know if you're getting this. Come in a little close, zoom out. If you see my finger come into the camera, ignore it for a second. I'll free it out of the area. Yeah. So one of the things I noticed on my hair is it's starting to separate in certain areas, like these two flats right here are sort of one, but underneath it there's some new growth right there. And on the opposite side there's some new growth too, and it's sort of separating. So I got the feeling I'm gonna get some baby dreads down under those sooner or later. But I also have the feeling they're gonna end up connecting with these as well, because it's sort of just, you can sort of tell what your hair does after a while. But every time I wash my hair, it's something new and it's something different. And that's part of the reason why I do the Sunday shake out, because it looks different every Sunday after I shower. With that being said, I also have this back here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's another section. Hopefully I'm getting it. And then this section right here. And then I have my first lock. Another one underneath it. Now, if you look, my first lock, it has some webbing. I don't know if you can see the webbing in my hair, but there's some webbing. If I pull, it's like a puppet's hand on the strings. I don't know if you see this movement, but even if I move it up, the one underneath it's gonna move up and down, you know? So it's connected to all those sections. And some of my latest growth is right here in this section, between my thumb and index finger. And it's sort of coming in as one, like this section right here. Now this section right here, ooh, pulled on some webbing right there real quick. This section is sort of connected to this bottom one. I don't know if I'll separate it, but right now I'm gonna let it do what it does. But yeah. And then I have this one knot right here. And these two made one knot, you know. So as you can see, the top of my head though, it still hasn't locked. But, you know, I got a little afro-y thing going on right here. You know, I don't know if you can see it, but yeah. And then I have a lock about right here. I'm not going to pull it up because it's probably going to, I want it to sort of like start attaching to some of the new growth around it. And maybe it'll start to Congo real thick like these ones. You know what I mean? Like I said, I wanted my Natty Dreads to be thick, real chunky ones, real chunky ones. So, so far so good. It's working out. You know what I mean? Because I feel like all these sections, even this one back here, it's going to be its own. I'm gonna squeeze it. Maybe you guys can see it. Let me try it. Oh, I don't want to pull because it's some webbing going on. But I got a feeling like all this is going to be one lock, you know. And then all this is going to be another lock. And then I have these. So that's like 3 on that side sections. And then on, sorry about the fingers in front of that, but on this side I have 3. Then I have these, my original one, the one below. And if this all becomes one on top, that'll be cool. And if it's 2, cool. If it's 3, cool. If it's 4, cool. Nothing I could do. But yeah, man, at 10 months, like I said, that's when I did my first, got my first lock. Things started locking in. And then after that, it just started, like, everything started locking. But one section at a time. Nothing ever, like, locked all at this. Nothing locked at the same time. So when it was locking over here, it wasn't locking over here, you know? When it was locking back here, it wasn't locking up here. You know what I mean? It's crazy. So, you know, and then when you think something's locked, new things sprout up, like this stuff underneath that I was talking about that's come in underneath my 2 flats on each side. So, you know, those might end up joining in with this, or it might create its own. But every time you wash, it's something different. So, yeah, man, if you guys, if there's anything, just stay patient with the journey. Hopefully this helped anybody understand to be patient and to have some self-acceptance. Man, this is a beautiful thing. I will say that. Oh, one more thing. That self-acceptance thing. Man, this week it was hard for me personally. I'm going to be straight up with you, straight up and down with you. Like, my hair was looking like, yeah. And I started to get back into that, like, oh, what do you look like? The vanity part. And then I had to check myself again. You know what I mean? So, so if you're on this journey, you're going to go through these, You're going to go through it. And it's perfectly normal and it's okay. So, yeah, with that being said, I'm going to sign out. Not so anonymous. Two Stooks. And I'm out.